Well, we very often talk about a sky full of stars. When you look at this stage, it is a stage full of stars. And the reason I say this, because we have two rock stars, absolute rock stars of chess here with me, who were part of India's 45th chess gold medal winning team. There were 10 of them there, and there are 2 of them here with us at the moment. Why do we say it was history made at Chess Olympiad? Chess Olympiad started in 1924, coinciding with the 7th edition of the modern Olympic Games that happened in Paris. It took 100 years for India to win gold medals. They came very close in 2022, clinching bronze, but that's as far as we had got. We also call it historic because of this stunning piece of stat. And I want to state this in front of all of you. From a total of 7,752 games, yes, that was played by 1,870 players across 11 rounds over 13 days. These men and women clinched the gold medal. A big round of applause for them once again. Today, we are joined, sitting on my left is Vantika Agarwal, who claimed not 1, but 2 gold medals in her single and in her group, in her team game, team gold as well. On my extreme left is the rock star of Indian chess, Tania Sachdev. We have known her since the time she was a teenager, featuring of NDTV. The first story we did, by the way, was when she was 10 years old. And here's what, I'm not going to be talking about her age today, but here Tania, sitting in front of you today, gold medalist at the Chess Olympiad. With them, we have chess legend Abhijit Kunte, who is a coach of the women's chess team. The men, I will admit, we have reached out to them, but they're playing tournaments all across the globe, and they have created some stunning piece of achievements even after the Chess Olympiad. Tania, I'll start with the last moment, the final day of Chess Olympiad. मैं पढ़ रही थी कहीं पे, गुकेश ने कहा था, he said after you had finished the 12th day, almost you had known that you are going to be winning and you are going to be the gold medal winner. And उनके लिए काफ़ी difficult था वापस जाके focus करना. It was very difficult to get back on the board, focus, knowing that you've already clinched the gold. Tell us, at that moment, what did it take for all of you to lift yourself, focus, get back on the drawing board, on the chess board, and, finish the final day?
Rika, firstly, I want to say that my first video with NDTV when I was a little girl, it's still on YouTube somewhere where more than chess, it's me dancing on that video. So it goes a long way back, and dancing never really worked out for me. But chess continued. Coming to your question, I think for the men's team, it was a very different narrative compared to the women team. They ran away with it. They were unstoppable. I don't know how many of you were following, but we had 3 players in the men team who had just played the candidates. One of them who's going to play for the World Championship. Gukesh was there, leading from the top, and everyone was in form. So they went into the last day with a very different mindset, and I think this was so impressive because it's so easy when you know you've got the gold to kind of take it easy. And, you think you'll be solid on every board, a draw is good enough, but these guys went on to even win the final round and, clinch it in style. For the women team, it was, for us, it was a different narrative because, so we had 7 wins in a row, and we lost the 8th match to Poland. Now, the story goes even further back than the last moment because we were exactly at this place in 2022 at the Chennai Olympiad as well, when we had a fantastic run, but in the final moments, we had 1 loss, and then we came back from it, but it was the last round that took the gold away from us. The ghosts of these past, they're always in your mind. And it's very important to block out the noise. We managed to come back from the loss against Poland. And then eventually, going into the last match, we knew that we needed to win this. So it was not a situation where if we held every board, if we draw, we'd be given the gold. So we had to earn and sweat it out in the last match, and the team really delivered on that day. And before that as well, we beat China. We won the last match, and I remember just when it finished, Harika was the last game to finish, and Abhijit was there with her. And she has been also, I got into the team since 2008 and I've played every Olympiad. She's been on the team since 2004 and played every Olympiad. And I think you could see it on her, and we all felt it, that this is something that we worked towards, not that year, not 2 years ago, not since Chennai, but 16 years for me and even longer for her. So having done that job in that moment, I think we all felt probably more emotional than we ever have, because it went far beyond than winning the gold. It was a lifetime journey for a lot of us on the team. And I don't think any of us could have imagined it finishing better than standing side by side with the men team, winning a historic gold. Only 2 countries before us have done that at the Olympiad, that they won the men and the women together. People have been talking about this for generations, that chess started in India. And then obviously there's been this big boom in India and the biggest talent is coming out. But doing this, having this performance, I think it really established that, the future of chess is not India. That is the present and the future of chess. So very special moment.
And Tania, what really stands out for me, for all you heroes of the country, when you win a gold medal and not silver, not bronze, that is when Indian national flag is hoisted on the soil of another nation. And that's a big moment for all of us. We keep recounting what Abhinav Bindra did, what Neeraj Chopra did, and what you guys have done lately. It is pretty special for all of us. Abhijit, coming to you, chess is a very individualistic sport. Now, when we talk about a team, we know that the women's team had a lot of ups and downs. How difficult was it then for a coach to hold them all together and help them vault to that performance on the last day?
I think the problem was 2022, because we were in the same situation and we lost to USA that game. We had a very good team this year, and we were very close. Kazakhstan was there with the same points, but they were playing against America, which was a strong team. And we were playing with Azerbaijan. So we had a very good chance to win. But it was just that players should not get burdened with winning the gold. That was the main idea. And luckily we had 2 junior players who were not in the team that year. Divya and Vantika. So it was a good thing, and I am very happy that they played very well that day. It was a clean win, 3.5 half, and there was no burden. Okay, initially before the match there was some tension, but once the game started and they got their positions, it was all happy moment for me as a coach, because when I see the position, it was very easy.
Before I come to Vantika, I'll have to ask you a question about what you just mentioned, young people. 6 of the 10 are below the age of 22. क्या आप कहेंगे कि भारतीय चेस में एक generational shift हो चुका है अभी?
Yes, definitely, because when I became the national champion in 97, I was the youngest national champion at the age of 24. And now if you see the Olympic gold medal winning team, which is below 21.
Right.
6 players below 21. तो ये बहुत बड़ा change है. Second thing I will say is that, Indian women team was always very strong, but somehow we were not winning the medal. I took the job of being the coach of the team since 21. And I think most of the tournaments, Tania was part of the team. And we could start winning the medals. And that confidence has helped the team, that now coming without a medal, it's like a failure. And now I think the team has grown so much that not winning gold itself looks like a failure. I think ये जो अभी ऊर्जा बनी है टीम में, वो सबसे important है.
Right. Vantika, to you, double gold medalist at the Chess Olympiad, one your single gold and one team gold. Can you go back to being the simple girl from Sri Ram College of Commerce who graduated a few years ago? That ordinary girl. Is it possible for you to live that life once again?
I think I still feel like I'm the same girl. from Sri Ram College, but it's such a proud moment for me and for our entire Indian nation and our team to win double gold. And for me especially, I'm so happy that I could perform for India. I mean, when the team needed me the most, I could win some games. I think my games against Kazakhstan, Poland. Poland was not so good, but Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan, USA. So I think we all delivered when the team needed, and it just feels so amazing to win the gold.
Vantika, medal jeete aap us din. What did you do after the medal win? What did you do with the medal? Who all did you go and show?
So after we won the medal, we were all so happy, and then we. After we won the prize and all, Gukesh and Tanya,
You did a special dance.
Yeah, we had planned this and we had this special celebration.
Did you plan that special dance?
Yes, it was all planned. Not before, but once we both won the medal.
Vantika, you're giving too much away right now.
No, I want you guys to say what was planned and how did it come about, because we all saw that dance that went absolutely viral.
Yeah, it was very well done. I think Gukesh.
बहुत बढ़िया choreography भी था.
Yeah, I think it was your idea,
Tanya
right?
choreographed.
I told you my first video with NDTV goes back to dance.
Yes, it was. I think that was the most fun moment. And then we also made a reel where all of our members were there. We after the PD, we went to a pizza restaurant because it was already past 12 and none of the restaurants were open. Yeah, but the team itself being together, that was special moment for us. And after that, in fact, after coming back to India, we didn't have any time. In fact, after coming back, I came home at 2:00, and the next morning at 7, I just got up and came to NDTV studio for the interview. Yeah, and the next day itself, Prime Minister sir also met us, and it was such an honor and pleasure for us, to get this chance and opportunity to meet him. And we got felicitated and honored by so many great people. It just felt amazing.
Tanya, what is it about Budapest and Indian sports stars? Neeraj Chopra, you guys, you seem to have made Budapest your favorite haunt. We are going there and winning the yellow medal time and again. दिमाग में था कि नीरज ने भी यहाँ पे कुछ स्पेशल किया है, हमें भी करना है.
Not the fact related to the city itself, although Budapest, great city, highly recommend to go visit, even if you're not a chess player. But coming to your point about Neeraj, I was very closely involved with the Paris Games, with the Olympics.
Right.
I was doing the broadcast for that. And the team for our Budapest, for the Chess Olympics got announced, I think 3 days before I was leaving for that.
Wow.
But my experience there and being so close, and I'm somebody who I'll be honest, hasn't followed the Olympics closely. We all know about our athletes, but the sports and, all the different sports, I've never followed it. But having done that, I felt so inspired by really what sports brings out and what it takes to be there and how they play their hearts out. And sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, one of the biggest example is, the 100-meter race. I mean, you work for 4 years and then you have those 10 seconds to give it. And if you're able to do it, you go for glory. But just the whole atmosphere around it and looking back at it, I think being involved with that and what it takes for these athletes to cancel out the noise, the pressure, and to put in all the hard work that they can before, and then to just give it their best. For me, that was a huge learning experience.
Who were you inspired by? You said you were in the
okay,
broadcast.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, of course,
Noah Lyles?
Sorry?
Noah Lyles?
Simone Biles, actually. A huge Simone Biles fan. I think, she really shows one of the most incredible, I think, things that I feel that chess has taught me, and I could see it. It's just this ability to stand back up again. Coming back to the 22 chess Olympiad, you suffer this heartbreaking moment. And let me tell you guys that, the 22 Olympiad was a historic moment for us. India had never won a medal before that. Winning the bronze in that was in itself, if someone at the start of the tournament told us you're going to win the bronze, we would take it with both hands and jump on it. But the way the tournament went, we didn't win the bronze, we lost the gold in that one. And I think it took us, at least it took me months, and we could not feel any celebration. So, just getting back up there, one of the biggest lessons with sports, and just to go back and do it all over again. What Neeraj Chopra also did at the Olympics, you were facing a 92-meter throw, and then to respond to that. So as Vantika said, you face a challenge, you lose to Poland, to respond and to come back, to beat China, to hold your own against countries like US. I think that's what sports is about.
We will get both of you girls back to celebrations once again. But before that, Abhijit, chess again is a very, as we were talking about, individualistic sport. Why can't associations or federations produce chess players? Why does it have to be individuals like Vantika and Tania who train with private coaches, coaches from different ecosystem to become what they are? Why can't system produce rock star players?
So chess is a very different sport. It has a lot of research, it has a lot of arts, and it has a lot of sports. At grassroots level, the association is mainly involved in organizing the tournaments, which gives fair opportunity for everyone to participate. So the participation opportunity is huge in chess because it's an individual sport, so you can play many tournaments nationally, domestically, internationally. So there the associations and the World Federation plays a part. They have the ranking system, selection tournaments, team selection. Then we have the camps for the selected team members.
Right.
So we have very few team tournaments in India. So the players are individuals, so they have their individual coaches, they have their individual choices. Most important thing is it is not possible for them to share their preparation because we have a lot of preparation. We have 1 crore plus games which we have to check, we have to make our own strategies which cannot be disclosed because finally we all are competitors again after this team tournament.
Right.
So most of the players will always prefer to have their individual coaches rather than have the team coaches. So as a team also we have certain limitations.
But what about the pipeline? Who then takes responsibility of the pipeline?
The pipeline is coming always because you have this national championship from 7, 9, we have around 9 age group championships. So like 18 age group championships, men and women together. Where the national champions are there, they play in the world championships, Asian championships. And for them, the coaching camps are organized from the grandmasters, international grandmasters. And the state level, many state associations organize the camps. But getting into some kind of NCA structure, what the BCCI has,
Right.
that can become a challenge because the level of the players, what players are right now, are at top 5 or top 10 in the world where it is very difficult for them to share anything with anyone. And I feel this system is working fine. Yes, because we have top 5 2 players in men, top 15 we have around 3 players in women. So I think the system is doing good. It's most important is that the players needs to be funded because it's a lot of individual work where you need a lot of seconds. So like
Is there enough funding in the system now?
It's always never enough, but it's decent. But I think there is a lot of scope for improvement.
There has been a shift since your time, you would say.
I think the shift has come from the 2022 once we won the bronze medal, and there has been a sea change in the situation.
We will go to the audience for some questions, but before that, Vantika, have you been a part of the Chess Olympiad? And Hannah, how was the experience?
So I was part of Chess Olympiad in 22 also, but I was playing in the second team. That time I was playing on board 1 and that time also I had a great run and my performance was 2500 plus and I mean, I was, after 9 rounds, I had 7 points. So it was that time me and Divya, both we were playing in the second team. But all the team members couldn't perform that well. So we couldn't get a medal. But yeah, to be in the main team. No, last year in Asian Games also, I was in the main team. That time we won the silver medal. So.
Tania, chess has an IPL-like tournament in India. Has it really impacted the system in terms of producing the kind of players that we expect?
I think you're referring to the Global Chess League?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of the things that Indian chess has been missing is a league which gives opportunities to players to play as a team, for many of them to, for chess to become a viable career option, and for young people to take up the sport, initiatives like the Global Chess League go a long way. So it's sort of harbored around NBA. You know, you've got that in basketball, and then you've got the IPL here. It's huge for the ecosystem. It's only in its second year, and we were all in London right now. For that, it's already grown a lot from first season, and I think next season they're looking at 8 teams. But I want to just quickly hit upon what you asked Abhijit earlier, Rika, because I think that's such a big point about the support for players and about really what athletes go through at that time, and this whole pipeline thing that you mentioned. Now, I got into the team in 2008, and it's 16 years later that another girl from Delhi, Vantika, got into the team who had a brilliant performance, a brilliant run at the Olympiad. In those 16 years, we still don't have a player from Delhi who's made it to the men's team, for example. And yeah, the dream is that I hope we don't have to wait for another 16 years for another player from Delhi to come up and perform at this level. And I think I'm going to say this, but I think the state government has a huge role to play in that. Delhi, that way, is one of the hardest cities to be an athlete in. And it's a difficult thing for me to talk about because it's really a sport that I have dedicated my life to, my career to. And there's a reason why we see so many grandmasters after grandmasters come out of Tamil Nadu, or young players to come out of, let's say, Maharashtra or Andhra, or why does every girl in Hyderabad want to play badminton? Because she's seen a Saina Nehwal, she's seen a PV Sindhu.
You see her, you be her.
Exactly. And, you know, unless the state comes forward to really recognize the sweat and the hard work that players put in for years, and I want to say blood, but in chess there's not much blood going on, I'll be honest. Unless state recognizes its own, you know, the effort that goes into it, how are you going to inspire the youth to take up a profession seriously? So I think
my colleague
a big
Osama is with
required.
the audience, and he will get you some questions as well. Yes, Osama, over to you.
Rika, I'm rightly here in the audience, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of questions coming from the audience, and I can see a lot of raised hands here. But before I go to them, I have a very quick question for all the three of you. Just give us a sense of how Vishwanathan Anand, as a mentor, is for all of you, and who among the three of you have beaten him the most number of times?
I think the last bit is the easiest to answer in that. 0 would be the whole number on that. But, you know, to that story, I'll just quickly say that I got into chess. My moment of being inspired to take chess up as a profession happened in Delhi. Vishy was giving a simul. I think it was for NIT, who was one of his sponsors for many, many years. I was one of the youngsters. I was 9 or 10 years old. I think it was at Siri Fort. And just watching him, you know, he was playing with about 20 young kids. I was the only girl there. And I looked at him and he stood across from me. And, you know, I was like, when I grow up, I want to be like him. And that was my moment where I felt like this is so cool. Obviously, I don't even come anywhere close, but that inspiration moment was close enough for me to be a part of this incredible team. So he has a huge impact on all of us.
My name is Barkhat Rehan. I'm a great fan of sports. So what are the initiatives taken by Modi government, like Khelo India? Has it really helped you guys?
So right now chess is not part of Khelo India or national games, but the central government supports all the teams which participate internationally. The training camps are supported by the central government. Plus there is a program which funds the top level athletes. I think it's a top scheme where the players are supported, and the cash awards, cash incentives for the performances. I think these are the few things which the government does, where players who are playing from national to international are taken care of, and there are some government grants for organizing international tournaments.
I just want to add a small story to that. We were actually in Budapest heading for the closing ceremony. The whole team was together. We were all in a bus, and at that time, Modi sir had a speech in the US. And we had won the medal maybe an hour or 2 hours ago, right then, and we were heading towards, the main, the trophy giving. And in that bus, we were listening to that speech, and just at that moment, he announced about this historic win. He spoke about us. And as players, just to be recognized so instantly for the efforts, it felt so inspiring and motivating.
Okay, taking from the positives of yours and being women, I wanted to ask you about the fate, what happened to Vinesh Phogat. I just wanted a reaction from you, being Olympiads and she losing the last moment or whatever. How do you see that situation? I know it's all like goose pimples for everybody, but how would you deal with it, one? And number two, what happened? I mean, do you see it as a positive or a negative? Your reaction to her fate?
Yeah, it's a tough question, Again, I was covering the event. I was not covering. I was an anchor for a Geo at the time for the Olympic Games, and I still remember we were sort of getting ready for the day of her finals, and her bout against Sasaki Yu, I think it was, who she beat in the pre-quarter finals. Someone who hadn't lost 80 bouts straight. And it was just a very heartbreaking moment to see what happened on that day. I am not the best person to get into the technicalities of wrestling as a sport and everything that it takes. But as an athlete, I think one can completely feel that pain of having gone through, reached that moment, and then it being taken away. So, it was very difficult.
Ma'am, if I can just add to fill in to what she said, I was at the Paris Olympic Games, of course, covering it. And on the day when she had secured her, almost guaranteed a medal, so all athletes have to go through a media zone at the end of their their sport. So that day, on the penultimate day, she went through it, walked through the mixed zone, and she said, "Kal baat karungi sabse gold lekar." When it did not happen, the following day, she could have had the opportunity of missing out. Vinesh Phogat, being Vinesh Phogat, came and said, "Bad luck, did not happen. Sorry." So we all said, "You do not have to say sorry. There is nothing to say sorry about. It is a sport, the technicality that did you in, nothing to say sorry about."
Can I ask a question? To the coach. I was also an amateur chess player. One of my students is a Grandmaster of India. Chess, Dronewalli Harika.
Okay.
So for women, Koner Hampi and Dronewalli Harika started the battle and they were the first few. So when you say that it is not there in Delhi, the reason I will tell you for this, and that question also you can answer. The parents don't allow girls to play chess. They don't allow. They will say that tere liye nahi hai. That's the attitude that is really a curse to Indian women. If they allow Indian women to play, we will forget even Indian cricket team. We don't allow. Because we are, from the day one we want to dominate. So I want an answer from you. Thank you.
So we have two parents here of the women children. I think they can answer better, but I think the mindset is changing. When I used to play earlier, maybe in 2000, the number of participants were very less, but now if you see the numbers is growing, and I am confident that all this gold medal and the continuous medal winning by the women team, more children will take up chess professionally.
Tania, we've almost come to the end of our discussion, but before we close out, every sport needs, highlight moments, the pivot moments or turning points. Would you say when Gukesh faces off against Dan Liren at the end of the year, that could be another pivotal moment for Indian chess? And how much is the chess fraternity looking forward to that? Could that be the turning point?
It's really a big moment for all of us, right? Because it was in 2013 that we lost the World Championship crown. Vishy Anand, of course, a legend, 5-time world champion. It was in Chennai. he played the match against Magnus, and we had a new world champion. Like you spoke about changing of guard, it's normal. A new tide comes in every time in sport, and it happened then. And now, after all these years, 11 to be exact, well, for the second time in history, an Indian will be fighting for the world championship crown again. Gukesh has already made history in many ways. He's going to be the youngest ever player to play for the world championship match at 18. As far as the turning point, I think there have been quite a few around, and it's hard to highlight just one, but I think it's sort of like a river, right? There are many twists and turns, and then it leads out into this ocean. And maybe this world champion will be the ocean, but I think India has had many of these pivotal points, whether it's the Olympic gold that we got, whether it's the world team silver that we won with Abhijit as a coach, many of them, or Gukesh winning the candidates. Hopefully, the world championship will be the ocean after that.
Well, thank you very much, Tania, Abhijit, and Vantika, for being with us, sharing your experiences. Give a big round of applause to Vishy's clones and our chess legend, Abhijit Kunte.